Hey, everybody, this is Perch. And Simple Mail, hey, Perch, have you noticed or seen the controversy around Agatha all along, the new Disney Plus show about Agatha? Yeah, I connected those dots, folks. Thank you. Um, Basically, people are saying it's the gayest show ever, but your boy Zach is saying it's not the gayest show ever, and the actors are just screwing around. What do you think? It, what do you think? Is it the gayest show ever? And follow up. I like it when people actually write and follow up. It's like it feels like a real interview, like a professional video. And follow up. Don't you think Marvel should have learned their lesson at this point with content that just creates rage? Interested to hear your thoughts. I think Marvel's learned their lesson. I think it works for them. You dummies. I think it works for them. That's the whole point here. No, let me back up a second and give you a different perspective. So, as you know, I'm a young man of Gen X, discipline and descent. And if you had told me, if you could go back in time, right, and it's the late '80s, early '90s, and you went back to younger, stars in his eyes, Perch, and you would have said, hey, Perch, I know you're a young man, Gen Xer. There's this election coming up, and I don't know if this Bill Clinton guy is going to make it or not. He's running against old man Bush, but you like comics, young Perch. Well, guess what? In the future, and you're not going to believe this, but in the future, they're going to do a Marvel show about Agatha Harkness. And I would have got what? They're going to do a TV show about Agatha Harkness. And I'm like, that old bitch from Fantastic Four that shows up every now and then, rarely, like the old crone woman who, are some of the worst Fantastic Four stories, because the Fantastic Four story is doing cool science fiction shit. And then every now and then it's like, and here comes the old witch bitch. And they're going to make a television show about Agatha Harkness. There is no way I would ever watch that show, because who cares about Agatha Harkness? I've read so many comic books. You're shitting me. Agatha Harkness, the TV show. Have they exhausted everything, every other character in the entire Marvel universe? Are there a million different Marvel shows that they've gotten to Agatha? They've done a full Doctor Doom series, a Kang series, a Masters of Evil. The Wrecking Crew has got a TV series, right? You're telling me they've exhausted every other character in the entire Marvel universe, and we're getting an Agatha TV series. I will never watch that. That's what I would have said as, young Gen X Perch. Spoilers, that's what I'm saying is old Perch too. But anyway, young Perch. And then they said, well, wait a second. I know, Perch, I know. You say you don't want to watch this, but what if we told you it's Agatha Harkness? But she won't be as old. It's not going to be like a 90-year-old woman here. It's going to be younger Agatha Harkness. And it's going to be the gayest show ever. I'd be like, what do you mean? There's my car is all beeping at me. I would have gone, what do you mean the gayest show ever? They're like, well, going to be a lot of lesbians in this thing. A lot of lesbians. Okay. I would have gone, all right, okay. Maybe I will watch this show. Hang on. So you're telling me that they're going to do a Marvel TV show for Agatha, but it's going to be super gay. Women, right? Or you're telling me, yeah. There's going to be a bunch of gay witches. I'm like, all right, that sounds hot. All right, are they going to there's going to be spells that involve like baby oil and bikinis? That's the show we're into? Fuck yes, Marvel. All right. Do you have this sounds great. This sounds amazing. That sounds great. I tell you this story because how screwed up has everything gotten, right? By the way, for those of you who are young, for those of you who have been experiencing this current timeline, you may not understand what I'm talking about. So you're just going to have to trust me on this one. Once upon a time, um, when you would go and watch like bad 80s comedies or very, very early 90s comedies, and invariably they'd be like, oh, there's a lesbian. But the lesbian was a smoking hot swimsuit model who was basically like, I think I'm going to play with this other girl while you boys watch. And that was the gay shit that you got on movies. That's what they put out in the late 80s. And basically, and for that matter, this continued because wrestling is always a while, for a couple of years behind. And, you may remember, once upon a time, Eric Bischoff joined the WWE. This is after the WWE bought the WCW. And Eric Bischoff comes in and he becomes the general manager of Raw. And he basically has a bit that he did, not for that long. I mean, this went on for, I don't know, a month or whatever. But basically, he would promise hot lesbian action. Vince Russo used to do the same stuff. And it was always really stupid. But basically, it was like, hey, these girls are going to get into a pool of, in one case, literal Jello. That wasn't an exaggeration. But, these girls are going to get in baby oil. They're gonna wrestle. And then, did any of you remember in the WWE, although it was the WWF at the time, it was the Attitude Era, and then like Miss Kitty took her top off during one of these oil matches, or it was they're in a pool. I don't remember what was going on. It was terrible. Like if you watch wrestling for wrestling, I had a friend who was like, God damn it, these girls can't wrestle. I'm like, you've completely missed the point of what's going on here. But anyway, what I'm saying is, once upon a time, the idea that it would be the gayest show ever would have been a massive plus. But we are in 2024, and of course that's not what they mean, when they say this stuff. But here's the thing. The thing that remains true in all this is that you're still talking about goddamn Agatha Harkness. Who cares about Agatha Harkness? That's the part that's weird in all this, because to me, and I'm, you're seeing a bunch of people get all, pissed off about what's going on with Marvel, and Marvel, they can't learn their lesson and kind of all this. And, on one hand, sure, I guess. On the other hand, it's still Agatha fucking Harkness. The show is called Agatha All Along, which is a play on a musical number in the Vision of Scarlet Witch show. So to me, it's a little bit like the people who are losing their minds out of this. It's a little bit like, you pulled up and there's a store called the We're Going to Cut Your Dick Off store. And that's actually the name on the store. That's what's on the sign. And then people go in there and then they're like, this store tried to cut my dick off. Yeah, no shit. It's called the Cut Your Dick Off store. To me, Agatha All Along is like what do you expect that show is going to be? It's named after a song, and it's Agatha Harkness. I'm seeing, somebody post on other videos like, Agatha Harkness is my favorite character and Marvel's ruining them. Bullshit. I'm sorry, there's no way that's true. We've gone through this before. I like with Iron Fist, and then a couple of people are like, well, Iron Fist is in my top 5 characters. I doubt that, but I can almost get there. I could believe that maybe there's a Iron Fist fan out there. And by the way, that's not shitting on the character. Character is fine, but or what's another one? This was a couple of years ago, and I was making some other video, and they're talking about racial diversity, and for whatever reason, Wyatt Wingfoot, another Fantastic Four bit character, comes up, and people are like, well, Wyatt Wingfoot was actually my favorite Fantastic Four character as a kid. I'm like, that's bullshit. No, he was not. No, I'm going to say no. But Agatha, no, there's zero chance that you, as a long-term Fantastic Four fan, Agatha Harkness is your favorite character. I dare you to get into the comments and try and pull that shit. That's absolute nonsense. So this show comes out, and it's called Agatha All Along, and it's and then there's like some dopey interviewer was like, "This is the gayest show ever," and the actress is like, "Yeah, it is. Yeah, fuck yeah, it's gay. We all get in a giant pool and we just squirt baby oil all over ourselves and rub up against each other and we do it for the boys, but it's a gay show ever." I'm kidding. They didn't say any of that, but man, management they had. Um, but what do you think? But forgetting about all that, what do you think this show is? Like, raise your hands. Were some of you out there like, well, I was really looking forward to Agatha All Along as a show that was going to renew my interest in the MCU, but then I heard it was super gay, so I'm like, nope, no, I can't watch it now. Not now that it's so gay. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. It's like we've gone from, the Avengers Endgame was spoiled because there was a scene toward the beginning when the Earth's all fucked up and Captain America's doing a little round table with some people. And this guy's like, I went out on a date with another man and it was sad. And it was like, I couldn't get past after that. Like, even though they were fighting Thanos and Captain America's running around with Thor's hammer, spoilers, the fact there was that gay at the beginning, I just, that ruined it for me. I'm like, I doubt that's true. Okay. I'm sorry, but I have a hard time believing that's true. But this is a bridge too far. Like, no, I was into Agatha Harkness because this is my favorite Fantastic Four character of all time, but now it's gay. And come on. Seriously, come on. What's wrong? What is wrong with you? This is the black pill death of comics if we're here. And I understand it gets people really erect and horny to make a blog post about woke Disney fucks up, makes gay Agatha show. It was called Agatha All Along. It's a spinoff of Vision and Scarlet Witch bit character named after a song in an episode. Like, what? How you needed a goofy ass interviewer coming around going, "This is the gayest show ever," to turn you off of this show? That was what it took. That was the moment. Anyway, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There is entertainment for you, the consumer. There is TV shows. There is entertainment for you to enjoy. It's out there. You can love it. You can enjoy it. It's there for you. I promise. You don't need to settle and then seethe for Agatha All Along. Like, and also, once upon a time, man, if you would have told me that there's going to be a crazy super lesbian show that was a Marvel show, admittedly, again, my little Gen X brain would still not have been able to wrap its head around Agatha being the main character there, but I've been like, okay, finally, the Invisible Woman and Black Widow are going to get down, and Mockingbird's I've always suspected with Mockingbird, she carries around those two batons. We know what she uses those for. Anyway, finally we're getting this. But we do live in a different era now. I acknowledge. But honestly, why? And so, by the way, there's going to be some dumbass like, see, I told you, Perch is a giant shill for Disney. This commentary is shilling for Disney. Me saying that this show looks like absolute shit, and who in their right mind is interested in watching it, and the people who are like freaking out now because it's super gay, like, now this is your problem. You were okay with a TV series spinoff about a old witch bit character of Fantastic Four. That was fine, but inserting the gay is just one step too far. This is what's done it. I don't know. Who cares? Honestly, who cares at this point? I'm totally with you, and I've said this before. They come out with who knows? So it's something they haven't they finally get around to doing the X-Men. And they decide to recast Wolverine as a transgender Latinx handicapped person, and it's like, okay, I get you. You can get pissed off again for that one, but Agatha, I mean, who cares? Sorry, I vented. I needed to blow off a little steam, so thank you very much for the mail. You allowed me to do that, and I'm telling you, once upon a time, you can go onto YouTube, by the way, and search WWE Hot Lesbian Action, and I dare you to do it. You've got to. I mean, it's absolute trash, but you got to see it for yourself, because once upon a time, that was the gay people were talking about. It's just funny in context. Thanks for listening.